I have my eyes closed, expecting my entire life to flash before me, expecting my body to evaporate in an instant under the immense heat of plasma. But what I feel suggests that I am still alive. I awaken from a sort of half-sleep. So it was all just a dream, I think to myself with relief. But something doesn't feel right. The steady beating of my heart, the rise and fall of my chest as I breathe in the fresh morning air. My stiff body lies on a hard, rough, cold ground, leaning entirely to one side. I'm afraid to open my eyes. I want to wake up in my bed, in my life. But that is just wishful thinking. I open my eyes, and my heartbeat instantly shoots up. Heat engulfs my body, and the sense of relief is irreversibly gone. I'm lying on my back, and the first thing I see are the crowns of trees in an unfamiliar forest. It is still dim, and the entire forest feels mysterious. I sit up, but my muscles are weak, stiff, and sore. I feel like I ran a marathon yesterday. I am disoriented and exhausted. I have no idea what is happening. I replay the events of the previous day in my mind. They are vague and incomplete, as if they were from the distant past. Friends I spoke to, but I no longer remember about what. Work on the computer, which I can't recall. I watched a movie, but I have no idea which one. Did I get so drunk that I blacked out and ended up in a forest outside the city? That's possible, but something doesn't add up because I don't remember any party or even drinking at all. My mouth is dry, but it's not the usual hangover thirst, and I don't have a headache. It feels almost like the hangover. Maybe some drugs? Regardless of how I got here, I need to figure out what's going on, where I am, and how to get back to civilization. I'm wearing only a t-shirt and the boxers I sleep in. Did someone play a prank on me, drag me out of bed, and dump me in the forest? I look around to see if there are any spectators or hidden cameras. Nothing. Just a pristine, waking forest. Next to me lies a neatly folded pile of clothes with a belt on top, holding an antique weapon and a compass. This makes no sense, and all I can do is stare in disbelief at the pile of items in front of me. I push aside my confusion with simple survival tasks. I didn't even realize how cold I was until my teeth started chattering uncontrollably. I stand up and begin to move my stiff body. I set aside the weapon, belt, and compass, picking up the clothing instead. The fabric feels familiar, yet I've never worn anything like it. It reminds me of sackcloth. There's something strange about it. I lift it and spread it out. It's some kind of cloak with a hole. I have no idea how to wear it. I examine the leather belt and the sheath adorned with engraved patterns. With trembling hands, I slowly pull out a gilded dagger, or rather a short sword. It is razor sharp. The most peculiar and smallest object is a metal compass with a golden needle and a dial covered in unknown symbols instead of letters. I step back and stare at these items, trying to solve the puzzle. Then, out of nowhere, I realize what the strange black sackcloth garment is. It's a tunic. I grab it, throw it over myself, and push my head through the hole in the middle. It hangs awkwardly on me, so I tighten it with the belt. That's better. It reaches just above my knees and has no sleeves, but I take it as progress. At least I'm not as cold anymore. Shoes? There are no shoes. Great, I have a sword and a compass, but no shoes. I am not a hobbit. I keep racking my brain, trying to figure out where I am and what the hell is going on. Whoever set this up is going to pay for it. Or, did I hit my head and forget how I got here and why I'm here? And what was that horrifying dream from no man's land about? It was too real to be just a dream. Yet I know it didn't happen. It couldn't have happened. I feel like my life has been chewed up and spat back out, all distorted, with nothing in its rightful place. Sitting here and coming up with theories won't solve anything, so I grab the compass, determined to find some answers. Which direction should I go? My surroundings are uniform, sloping slightly. I observe the landscape carefully, searching for clues. For the first time, I become aware of the sounds around me. At first, my ears pick up only a whisper, the rustling of leaves in the wind. Looking up at the treetops, I see some branches swaying. This forest is truly beautiful. Several species of deciduous trees form an unbroken mass of untouched wilderness. It looks like something out of a fairy tale. The ground is rough and dry. It hasn't rained here for weeks. Fallen, brittle branches and protruding boulders dot the landscape. There's no sign of human activity. Even the air is different from what I'm used to, fresh and pleasantly cool. Another sound, birdsong. I hear it but don't see anything. Then from the distance, a strange animal growl echoes and I freeze, expecting danger. Nothing. This forest is full of life. I have two options. climb uphill in hopes of reaching a vantage point to get my bearings, or head downhill hoping to find a water source, which might lead to inhabited areas. I take several deep breaths. I smell the forest, the crisp air filling my lungs, spreading warmth through my body. I know I'm not alone here. It's only a matter of time before I encounter someone. Strengthened by this realization, I decide to head downhill. As I descend, I focus on my surroundings. The deciduous trees are familiar. I try to move as quietly as possible, hoping to spot some wildlife. So far, the only creatures crossing my path are birds, hidden in the canopy or soaring carefree above it. I even find a narrow animal trail, well trodden. After about 10 minutes, the slope begins to level out, but the monotonous forest remains unchanged. I feel like I'm on a casual forest walk, and when I step out, my life will return to normal. The only disruptive element is my lack of shoes. I'm not used to walking barefoot in the woods, and I have to watch where I step. Some branches and rocks are painfully sharp. I'm having a hard time imagining walking a long distance like this. The stereotypical surroundings lulled me into deep thought, and I stopped paying attention to my surroundings. That's why I only noticed him when he was just a few meters in front of me. Before me stands the figure of a young man. I freeze mid-step, standing as if struck, my mouth slightly open. At the sight of him, I hold my breath. He is a mythical warrior. I don't know what else to call him. He's not moving, just staring at me in silence. He is dressed entirely in dark green, almost black clothing. His tight pants and jacket reveal a perfectly sculpted physique. Around his waist, he wears a thick belt with knives and a large dagger attached. From behind his back, the handle of something resembling a samurai sword protrudes. His face is relaxed and emotionless. Under his eyes, black stripes are painted, and on the right side of his face, he has an overwhelming tattoo. His face tattoo consists of symbols and patterns that start at his cheek, continue down his chin and neck, and disappear beneath his collar. His head is covered with a scarf, from which a few strands of jet black hair occasionally peek out. I stare at him in silent astonishment, contemplating my options. With just one look at him, I know I can't outrun him, overpower him, or do anything similar. I just hope he has good intentions. If he meant harm, I'd already be dead. My body is completely still. I'm still not breathing. My lungs and chest filled only with emptiness. What should I do? Should I do nothing and wait to see what he does? Should I tell him I have good intentions and don't want any trouble? Maybe if I explain my situation, he'll help me. I take a breath and begin to open my mouth to speak. At that moment, our eyes meet, and the mysterious warrior speaks. He says incomprehensible in a language I don't understand.
Mega Karsi tag.
Then he raises his right hand, clenches it into a fist, places it over his heart, and bows his head for a few seconds. The gesture surprises me, and the breath I had been holding escapes my lips soundlessly. The warrior lifts his head and stretches out the hand he had on his heart, gently tapping his chest as he speaks.
Anidus.
Then he points at me and says,
Unar.
He clenches his hand into a fist again, this time with his thumb extended, a universal sign that everything is okay. Slowly, he starts moving toward me, his hands maneuvering through various gestures. I decide to try speaking to him before he gets too close. Do you speak English? I tell myself that these days, almost everyone speaks English, but I might have been wrong. The warrior stops, but only says, English, and shakes his head in refusal. Standing a few meters away, his gaze slowly shifts from me to my right side. He tilts his head slightly and raises his eyebrows in surprise. I turn my head to see what he's looking at. Another mythical warrior in dark green is approaching us quickly. No, not a warrior woman. She wears the same outfit and equipment as the first warrior, but her figure has feminine features. The first warrior rushes past me, running toward her. Just before reaching her, he slows down and speaks to her in an urgent voice. Then he starts yelling. She, however, remains silent, staring at the ground. After a few minutes, their conversation turns into hushed whispers, and this bizarre scene ends with a long embrace. I could try to slip away while they're distracted, but it's pointless. Whoever they are definitely in on this prank. They turn back and head toward me. As they come closer, I make out the details of the female warrior's face. She has black stripes under her eyes, but no tattoos. A scarf covers her head, with a practical braid of jet black hair draped over her right shoulder. Her dark hair contrasts with her pale skin. Her expression is full of emotions: joy, fear, awe, determination. Every feeling is written on her face. Her eyes are dark, carrying a gaze more powerful than anyone I've ever met. She makes the same gesture as the first warrior and speaks in a raspy yet gentle voice.
Unar, mi kafiro, estara, adera.
I have no idea what she said, but I recognize the word Unar. This is the second time I've heard it. She also repeats Adara once more and points to herself. Great. If this is a joke, then these actors are incredibly convincing. This is the kind of thing you only see on TV. Adira and Aegis, two mythical warriors. I decide to be straightforward with them. You're very convincing, but there's no point in keeping up the act. Can you please just end this? They exchange glances, and Adara pulls a small, circular object from her pocket. She steps closer and offers it to me with her outstretched hand. I don't know what to do. I don't trust these people, and I don't trust this small device. I've had enough of this game, and now I'm getting seriously irritated. I snatch the object from her hand more aggressively than necessary and sigh. What is this? The object has a futuristic design. It's a ring with a faint blue glow along the edge. Inside the ring is a smaller circle made of matte gray material. A thin cable extends from the edge, ending in a tiny disc with small perforations. Adara points at the device, then at the back of her own head. What does that mean? I have no idea, so I shrug and shake my head in confusion. She repeats the gesture, but this time more slowly. Then she points at me, at my head. With her other hand, she demonstrates that the device is meant to be placed on the back of the head and the small disc into the ear. Uncertain, I press the device against the back of my head. It's cold and unpleasant. It suctions onto my skin, holding itself in place. I feel for the smaller disc, which seems to be some kind of earpiece, and place it in my ear. It fits perfectly and doesn't cancel surrounding sounds. I don't feel like I have anything in my ear. Then, a faint crackling sound, followed by a high-pitched tone, then another soft click, then silence. Both warriors watch me intently, anticipation in their eyes. When I return their confused gaze, Anita speaks.
Unar, can you understand me?